Okay, so last time on Lost we were having problems getting the avatars to move around. They were getting stuck on walls and they weren't seeking their goals properly. So now we have them actively seeking out food and then a good place to sit whilst they have their meal. And you can see that the stat bar is gradually being filled up as they fulfill whatever need they've got. The detection of where they can go and sit after they've used a cooker and that has improved. As you can see, they can share a table now. And then here comes Jeff. And Lisa's gotten tired, so she's going to go off upstairs to sleep. So he automatically takes the nearest chair to him. So things have been improving gradually. And now we have less and less confusion and less bugs happening. A lot of last week's work was actually taking place trying to fix bugs, because a lot of the stuff that was incorporated in here was actually causing a lot of crashing when we came to save the game. And you can still see that in this list here we've still got a few bugs that need fixing. So let's see if we can get to the bottom of that. What's this? Let's see if we can get to the bottom of why that's been called, because as far as I know that should only get called when somebody uses this wardrobe up in the bedroom. That's not the case. So why? And now we've got some extra bugs. Fantastic. Okay. So what normally happens is that when one of the avatars is using an item like a cooker, they basically block off the usage of that from everyone else. But in the case of this new situation where we've got them making decisions about whether they should go and find a cooker and use it, there's obviously a bug at some point that says go and use this cooker because it's free, when actually it's not, because the avatar in front is already using it. So as a result, we have a thing called an action manager, which is the thing that manages the chain of events that should happen. And as a result, that's basically crashed the system, because the action manager is trying to get the next step in the process for this front avatar, when this one behind has crashed the process for it. So it was in the process of cooking some food, and the next step in the process would have been to go and sit in one of these chairs over here, but as a result of the interference from Joyce, she's now crashed and stalled there, and as you can see, her health's gradually going lower and lower and lower. And at the same time, Jeff's obviously got his nose shoved out as well, so there we go. But I hazard a guess that the whole process of things started going wrong when we had these things happening right at the top, which seemed to be something to do with the clothing catalogue, which is tied in to that wardrobe upstairs. And as you can see, now that there's so many errors, we can't even look at the upper level, because that basically relies on us being able to enable the objects up there, and they've probably crashed at some point as well. So what we'll do is we'll stop the whole thing. We'll put a bug breakpoint into here, which is where that first set of errors started to happen, and the minute that that gets called, we'll be able to stop there and look at why it got there. So what's happening in this kind of long, lengthy startup is basically that the area has been scanned for objects and wall objects, and things are being placed in the level, but then it's also doing things like detecting whether there should be floors or whether there should be wall corners, and how they should align to each other and that sort of thing. And then once that splash screen goes away, that whole process is done, and we can just begin the simulation. Okay, no sign of the bug yet, but I think I remember it was after Joyce had gone upstairs to the bedroom and had herself asleep and came back down to the kitchen. So we might just have to wait a little while before that happens. Okay, so she's off downstairs. Right. Goes and sits down, has another bite to eat. So does Jeff. Oh, well, hang on. She immediately gets back up after having eaten something. It's interesting. That happened before anything else this time. She's obviously stuck because animation didn't complete. Okay, so there could be the beginning of trouble. Now what's supposed to happen is that when they finish with the cooking, there's a cooking item which is basically the pan, and there's one of two pans currently being used. That's supposed to disappear, but at this point it's saying that there is no pan. Okay, but then there it is on the stove. It's definitely there. Okay, so that works that time. But it's null that time. So this is a good example of how great it is when you're developing with Unity, because you'll get bugs happen one time around with the same set of variables. The next time you'll get a completely different set of bugs. So we started off having some errors about the cupboard upstairs, and then suddenly we've got this whole set of errors here, which is from the cooker. And now they're all starving. At least I think they are. Yeah, their health's getting worse and worse. Okay. Right, let's stop. Run through that one more time. At this point, I'm going to freeze it. Find that cooker or the pan. Right, so each object has a what I'll call a meet point, which is basically where the avatar will travel to and meet with the object before it uses it. And currently it's saying that that is taken by Lisa. So if we watch that, see what happens just prior to this whole pan thing, if we can get it to reproduce the bug again, then we'll have half a chance of being able to get to the bottom of what's crashing the whole system after that. So I kind of got the feeling that that whole craziness where they all start getting really hungry and seem to go off on a tangent, it happens as a result of all of that. So according to this, it's taken by Jeff, which is because he acquired it whilst he was still upstairs. Now it's not taken anymore. and she's busy drawing in flies upstairs. I'm not sure why the animation does that to their face, because it's not really part of the animation. It seems to be like a default behaviour when you mix or blend animations together. So here she goes. It claims it's not taken, but it is taken. Okay. He's taken it, but she thinks it's not taken. And actually it's been taken by Joyce. So I think from what I can see, there's an error here on what's going on. About at which point we should be setting this flag and mark it as being used or not used. So to do that we need to look at the code. So the code for a food source starts off in the cook action. So we come in at the point where it's the first run and we say no, we don't. Let's just go to the first section where that starts the process, which is this. And we're looking to see this meet point variable and to see if we set whether it's taken or not. Looks like it's not. Okay. So in the first run, do that. Then in the next section there's a process of decide where to eat. Okay, so when it's not complete, when it's not the first run, we come through, and if the time that it took to actually do the whole process is complete, then we set it as taken, its midpoint as not taken, and that should do that. Okay. It should also get rid of the selected item in the same process. So let's just see if we can run that again. Okay, so we have Lisa on our way down. Closely followed by Joyce, I think. Here she comes. And then after that we have Jeff, who will come down shortly. Right. While doing that, I'm going to pause it, just select that cooker in the, so we can examine its properties. There we are. Currently says it's taken by Jeff. Good. Still taken right up until it finishes the cooking process. Good. Right, who's next? Alright, Lisa's gonna have a kip and then she'll be the next one to come and use the cooker. Here she comes. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Aha. So I thought I'd fixed it, but I haven't. And apparently my sound's a bit low, so let's just see if I can sort that out. Levels. Hope that's better. If not, give me a shout and I'll tweak it some more. Okay, right, so meanwhile back on Lost, we have this error happening. Okay, so we'll put the debug mode on. There we go. So that's okay for the frying pan this time, which we expected because it was before that we were getting all the ridiculous behaviour. Okay. So she's used the saucepan this time. Here he comes. Right. So the point we're looking for is when Joyce has finished, Lisa who's having a sleep upstairs, when she comes down and uses this cooker here, that's when the problems begin. So here she's getting out of bed, she's coming down the stairs. Joyce has gone up to bed. They'll pass on the stairs, and then she comes in. And bang. Right, that seems to be okay. And she sits down, he gets up to use the cooker again, but then she doesn't stay put. Why not? Okay, this point, it's Jeff using the cooker. And then it's Lisa using the cooker this time, but the cooker has, right, so, I'm inclined to think that the whole problem lies just before she gets up for that second time. And then after that it all just goes a bit crazy. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to do a little trick where if I set this into edit mode and then save the current situation, it should then advance time a little bit so that we don't have to go through the whole scenario right from this section in here, and then we can replay it much quicker. So I'll wait till Lisa gets into bed, and then I'll put it into edit mode and save it, and then if we have to stop and try and debug again, then we'll have a much better chance of getting to the problem quicker. Right, so she's gone off upstairs. I'll wait till she lies down and starts salivating on her pillow. There we go. And then have a save from there. That's just a previous breakpoint from another bug I was fixing earlier last week. In theory, okay. Right. This time around though, I'm going to break as soon as she stops using the cooker, and then I'm going to put some breakpoints into the point where she's about to sit down and eat. So we'll stop there, go to that section in the process for using a food source, which should be something like decide where to eat, go eat, So set complete. So this is that, and then we get to the eat action, and I'm going to put a breakpoint in there because when she actually sits down to eat, then I want to be able to see what happens. I think it's probably this section here that it's going to stop in. So let's just put the breakpoint there, because there are two situations. Ideally what happens is if there is no chair available, they'll just go and stand somewhere and eat from the plate there. On the other hand, if there is a chair free, they'll go and find that and sit in it and eat instead. So at this point there's that chair free, so she's obviously making her way across there, so we're expecting to stop in the first section of that code that I've just put a breakpoint in. So let's see what happens. Who's this? It's Jeff, right? Okay, so that's not what we're after with Jeff. Oh, Jeff's doing it eating as well, so let's just do this and see if we can get to see what happens when Lisa first comes into the whole thing. So she comes in, she gets the meet point, we get the position of the point where she's supposed to sit, which is on the meet point. Then we go character controller enabled, which stops her walking around, stop her animating with root motions, because she's going to be sitting down, she doesn't want to be moving along with the animation. We parent her to the meet point, transform, and rotate her in there. Then set her animation to be eaten, and if there's anything in the left hand items section, which should have a fruit plate in there, bung it into my hand, and see, this is not the first run, so how much is this? 60 seconds. Okay. Right. Eating time left. Ah, okay. That's interesting, because that should not be set to that. It should be using this variable here, which is meant to be detaching the whole process so that it's specific to each avatar. So I think that's where the bug lies. Okay. So let's stop there. We'll put that in there. Oh, Charles, what's happening, Charles? Okay. Right, let's see what's happening inside of avatar properties at that point. Okay, so who's doing this? Okay. Okay. So this is Lisa coming up. Okay, so that's Lisa. Why has she gotten to be when she's already fed? Okay. Where has she gone? And now she's gone back. Ah, okay. I think I might have an idea of what's actually happening. Earlier today, I created a new set of AI for entertainment. and this entertainment AI set of code is deliberately sending them to look for food sources when it should be sending them to look for things like TVs and radios. So even though they're completely full and they're not hungry anymore, they're still getting up and going and looking for food sources because they're lacking in entertainment. So there you go. Where is she gone? Oh, great. Discovered a new bug. Okay. So plenty more bugs to be fixed. Unfortunately, in the next couple of weeks I'll be moving house, so I'm not going to be able to do as many updates, and I'm kind of wondering if I'm actually going to have internet for a while as well, to be honest, because the telephone company doesn't seem to be very positive on that, even though I'm not really moving that far from where I'm living now, but never mind. So hopefully I'll be able to keep you up to date with what's going on, and next time you see this video you'll see that things have improved again. So thanks for everyone for watching, and if you like what you see then click the like button, and if you are interested in supporting us then please visit our Patreon page and do as much as you can to lend a hand. Thanks for watching.